All right, January market check-in. Before we get into any numbers, I always want to start here. Real estate is always wildly location specific. National stats set the mood, but your zip code sets the rules. So with that in mind, here's what I'm seeing. No surprises here. Nationally, the housing market has settled into a more normal rhythm. Buyer demand is still there. Inventory is slowly rebuilding. Prices fairly stable, generally keeping the pace with inflation. One of the biggest themes right now is affordability. People are making decisions based on monthly payment. They're doing the math carefully and they're being more selective, but they're still moving forward. So here in Minnesota, the story is similar, but very local. We've got a few more homes coming on the market. Pending sales are down a bit from peak years, but prices are holding steady. Appreciation is basically tracking right around inflation. So homes aren't running away, but they're holding their value. What's really driving the market right now is life changes. So marriages, babies, divorces, retirement, aging parents, we're seeing a lot of that. For buyers, flexibility really matters right now. A lot of buyers I'm working with are millennials and Gen X households who are buying a little later than they have historically, but they're still moving forward. So when the numbers make sense, they pull the trigger. Monthly payment matters more than list price, and buyers are comparing options carefully. If you're open on timing, condition, or terms, there are opportunities. Not fire sale deals, but better negotiations, concessions, and far less pressure than we've seen in years past. Prepared buyers are in a solid position. For sellers, context matters a lot. National trends give us a general sense of the market, but what really determines value is what's happening right around your home. So in your neighborhood, your competition and today's buyers are what matter the most. A lot of the sellers I'm working with right now are baby boomers that are downsizing. They're either that or long-term homeowners or families selling inherited properties. So in these situations, what they value most is a smooth and efficient process while not leaving any money on the table. So homes that are in good condition, presented well, and marketed strategically are selling. Buyers are still willing to pay for quality. They're just more thoughtful about it. So for investors, location matters as always. Minnesota has stayed relatively steady, but there are cities nationally that have shifted into buyer markets, places like Austin, Denver, San Antonio, and parts of San Diego. What I'm also seeing is a clear shift away from short-term rentals and more towards long-term holds. So affordability pressures and rising insurance costs have made short-term investing less predictable, even as regulations are loosening in many places. Investors who are focused on stable long-term rentals and are disciplined with their numbers are finding opportunities in this market, especially in markets where inventory is up and prices have softened. In terms of mortgage rates are still a big variable. We're hovering to the mid to low 6% range, and even small changes affect buyer behavior. One thing I'm seeing, people aren't counting on a big rate drop and a possible refinance anytime soon. When they're crunching the numbers, they're making sure the numbers work in today's market. If the deal pencils long term, they move forward. If it doesn't, they wait. So the bottom line, this market is about affordability and real life transitions. It's about thoughtful buyers, realistic sellers, and disciplined long-term investors. So if you're flexible and informed, there are definitely opportunities. Something to watch, the upcoming Fed chair transition in 2026, policy direction, inflation, and employment data will all play a role in where mortgage rates and where housing head next. If you want to talk through what this looks like for your specific neighborhood and your life stage, your goals, I'm always happy to help. Reach out anytime.